So, I'm going to take you through the asset pack. It's pretty straightforward, there's lots of cool stuff in there, so let's just jump right in. This is Island A. So within each project you'll get a water layer and the island, which is linked to the set of textures that you're using. I'll show you the shader for it. Shader editor here. You can sort of see it. It's not particularly complicated. There's basically a root texture, which is using the color and the normal from the actual island, and then on top of that we're adding extra textures for the green stuff, extra textures for the beach, and extra textures for the rocks, and then there's also a little bit of displacement going on, which is coming off a couple of these textures. Within all of this there's a little island node. Here we go, here it is. They're all the same, but I've copied them, and you know, this is how these are all the textures that you can use. So you've got a rock mask, a tree mask, a beach mask, land color, normal, height, and then sort of an erode layer, which is just a sort of texture. It's actually this. Right, so that's the island. Let's just take a look at it. Should render. Actually, we've got subdiv set to 6, so it might be a bit slower. Oh, no, it's fine. Okay, so that's the island, and then on top of that we have an atmosphere, which is a sort of you could just call it sort of haze, which is a simple shader. Clouds, which are 2D clouds, and they basically they'll cast these 2D shadows on, which I think is a really nice way of isolating the island from the expanse of the sea without just looking flat. And then obviously we've got these 3D clouds, the sort of puffy white ones, and there's a couple of parameters in here I'll just quickly draw your attention to. One is just changing the seed. Another one is if you want to move it around. And then finally, well, obviously you can play with any aspect of it, but finally we have a little bit of spread, which controls the sort of amount of cloud spreading out, really. And then this one down here actually controls the sort of height of the whole thing. Anyway, that's basically it. So each island has this setup. There's 8 different islands. Project files also have the occasional sort of real world setup. So I'll just pick one for example. We've got an Alton Island A. All of the things you might want to make or could make in there, the sort of variations that you could produce. I've provided all these project files as well as just the default 8 island shapes that you get, which obviously you can play with to your heart's content. So let's just take a couple of look at these. This might be like an example of how the finished asset could look. I have done some comping on top of it, as you'd expect. This is another cool one. These are all just sort of plays on the same asset without doing any tweaking. It's just kind of like a nighttime render. I think that's quite nice. You can use some of the, let's actually have a look at them. You can use some of these extra sort of data passes that are provided. So there's like 6 or 7 of them per island to let you tweak and play with the look of it. This one's on a volcanic island. And yeah, or you could replace the assets entirely with textures. You could get something like this out of it. This is just using same island, scaled up, moved around a bit, tweaked the clouds, tweaked the lighting, and you've got like a kind of mountainous scene. Anyway, basically you'll get all of this. I've included that snowy mountain texture in with this. So yeah, feel free to experiment, play, let me know what you think. Thank you.